watching, you see me waving at you. If you're listening, you don't see me, but you got to trust me because my wave is a welcome. Welcome to today's conversation on the Adrienne Ross Show. And we're going to jump right in to this conversation. We're talking today about former President Donald Trump and current Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, because I'm sure you know there's been a little bit of a battle going on between the two. Now, some people will say, that's overblown. There's no battle going on between these guys. And then other people are saying, oh, yeah, there's a battle because, President Trump or former President Trump, however you choose to refer to him, he's throwing some punches. He's throwing those New York punches, right? And other people are saying Ron DeSantis is now willing to punch back. Now, in all fairness to Ron DeSantis, he's not really taking full out punches. He's not throwing, I should say, all out punches. He is kind of mild, but he does seem to be willing to do a little bit of what Trump says he does, and that is counter punch lately. All right. Now, I put out a column last week on this issue, and I wrote about how painful it is to see these two good guys, and I consider them good guys, battling each other. If you haven't read that, go to adrienneross.substack.com, adrienneross.substack.com. That's where my column is, and there are various subscription options. Please choose one of them. And if you are a paid subscriber, you can check out this column. So go adrienneross.substack.com. And I break this whole thing down because it really does pain me to see these two good guys battling each other. Now, I know there are people who are saying, what do you mean good guy? Ron DeSantis is not a good guy, which is what I'm hearing already. I posted the article link on social media, and I've had a few people who commented and was like, Ron DeSantis, he's not a good guy. Ron DeSantis, he's establishment. Ron DeSantis is, one of the skull and bones, whatever that mess is. I had to do a little research because I didn't even know what they were talking about. Maybe I should be ashamed of that I didn't know, but I didn't know. So I had to look that up. And he's establishment, et cetera. And he's not a good guy. So, the people who love Trump are now coming out saying, Ron DeSantis is, he's no good. And obviously the people who love Ron DeSantis are going to have something to say about that, particularly since DeSantis really wasn't coming at Trump at all and was kind of staying above the fray, right? But now they're battling. And it does pain me because I do see them as good guys. And again, people are now saying, well, he's not a good guy. All I know, and I haven't done all the research in the world, maybe my head has been buried in the sand. But if you know me, that's not generally how I flow. I kind of try to stay on top of things. I don't live in politics like I used to. Praise God. I find my sanity seems to be preserved more that way, and I intend to keep my sanity. So I'm not all in, but I am certainly not clueless. But I guess maybe some of you would disagree with me if I had not heard until now that Ron DeSantis is establishment. I had not heard that. What I have heard from others is that Ron DeSantis is a wonderful governor. Now, he has not said that he's running for president, but people just assume that he will. And, it looks like maybe he's paving the road for that. I don't know. He hasn't declared yet. But again, that is what people anticipate. And so now I just, in addition to Trump coming after him, calling him Ron DeSanctimonious and Meatball Ron and all that stuff and saying, he's just an average governor, et cetera. In addition to that, now I'm hearing other people who didn't seem to have anything negative to say about DeSantis before. Now they've got something to say about DeSantis. And listen, I am a firm believer that if someone is going to put themselves out there to run for office, which DeSantis has not done in terms of the presidency yet, but if someone is going to do that, then, it's going to be heated. It should be heated in terms of, talking about people's records, what people believe, what people are willing to fight for, what people stand for. I am all on board with that. Absolutely on board with that. But I'm also aware that when the good guys beat the snot out of each other, then sometimes we lose sight of who the real opponent is, and that is President Joe Biden, right? Because no matter what, we do not want another term of President Biden. So, want to make it clear, okay? For those who think I'm defending DeSantis, listen, like I said, I don't know that he's running for president. I like the guy, I think he's a great governor. I wrote a column months ago in which I said he was like a kinder, gentler Trump, so to speak. So I like the guy. I like that he was willing to stand and fight, especially during the lockdowns and the vaccination, all those mandates and all that stuff. So I like the guy. What I know now, if he's some big what is it, skull and bones and some big establishment kind of guy, then hey, I'm going to do my research and I'm going to find out. All right. I like Trump too. I love Trump. Okay. If you've been watching the Adrienne show or reading my columns, I love Trump. I believe that he was the man we needed in office. People were looking for personality and all this stuff. And Trump, he came with some strength, and we needed that. And we still need that, okay? I still love Trump, I still can say I don't like seeing these guys, battling each other right now like this, okay? Now, like I said, I don't know all who's going to be in the race, so I'm not endorsing DeSantis, and at this point, I'm not endorsing Trump. I like them both, Trump, like I said, I love him. He was a great president. I believe he would be a great president again. And so it would take, I don't know what it would take to make me think that maybe somebody is going to be a better president than he was and that he is. I'm open to hear from different people, But at this point, I like them both. I like them both as what I see as individuals, as their records, etc. And I don't know that Ron DeSantis is running for president. How can you like Ron DeSantis and Trump both? Well, you know why? Because I can walk and chew gum at the same time, and I do. But again, I love Trump, and I regardless of the personality, I can look beyond personality and say this guy loves this country. He loves this nation, and he's willing to fight for the nation. And I respect that. Ron DeSantis is a fighter also. We haven't seen him on the larger scale, larger stage as we have seen Trump. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. But it still pains me to see them battling each other at this point, So I want to transition to some polling. And you're gonna hear me talk about afterwards why that figures into the conversation I'm having right now about these guys going after each other, or really Trump is the aggressor going after DeSantis. And we know that DeSantis has made comments about the Stormy Daniels situation. It was like, I don't know what goes into hush money, for porn stars, and people viewed that as a hit on Trump, when instead, as the governor of Florida and Trump being a resident of Florida, and he should have come out more forcefully about this indictment issue with Alvin Bragg. Now, the Manhattan DA. So there are people who are ticked at DeSantis because they feel like he should have been stronger. He did come out against Bragg. He did come out against weaponizing his office. But I guess people felt like he should have said outright, we're not standing for this, and should have been stronger in his support of former President Donald Trump. In fact, Donald Trump Jr. called this pure weakness on the part of Ron DeSantis. And a lot of people did not appreciate that. The way he handled that, felt like he should have been stronger on that. Also, in his interview with Piers Morgan, he did mention, he was asked, in all fairness, he was asked how how is different from Trump. And so he said that he would have fired Fauci. Hey, I'm with him on that, that would have been a good thing, because we know Fauci's a piece of work. And I'm being mild because I don't want to focus on Fauci, right? But he said that, and then he talked about leadership style, and he's not into the drama and all that. And so he talked about himself when he was asked. He didn't talk about Trump, but it was clear, obviously, that he was creating a line of distinction between himself and Trump. So again, people feel like that, people are like, oh, that was a jab at Trump. Well, he was asked a question about his leadership, how he's different. He answered what he feels is the case. People didn't like that. I don't know what else he's supposed to say, but there's the question too, as I heard Michael Knowles say on his podcast, why would he even grant such an interview to Piers Morgan? So there's that. But anyway, I want to talk about some polling because some people, I guess, would think that with this indictment looming, that maybe Trump's numbers in these polls would plummet. That is far from what has happened in this week alone. And so I'm gonna share some of these headlines and some of this information as reported by Breitbart News. Okay, so in this poll, it's a Yahoo YouGov poll, okay? It shows that former President Trump holds a near double-digit lead over Ron DeSantis in a hypothetical head-to-head 2024 Republican primary contest, okay? So, and we're talking about this past week. So the headline says, poll, Trump leads DeSantis by 8 in hypothetical head-to-head, okay? So let's look at some of that. It says the current poll, again, this is from Breitbart News, this current poll also showed the candidate standing among a larger primary field, finding that Trump holds a double-digit lead as the frontrunner with 44% of support. DeSantis sits at 28%, and his 16-point deficit has not changed since last month when he registered at 29% and Trump sat at 45%. Okay, so this is a Yahoo YouGov poll. He has a near double-digit lead there. Former President Trump does over hypothetical poll, obviously, over Ron DeSantis, who has not yet declared he's running. Here's another headline poll. Momentum-backed Trump surges to 14-point lead since early February. Wow, this is a Monmouth University poll released last Tuesday, okay? And it shows that Trump surged to a double-digit lead over DeSantis. The poll shows that 41% of Republican voters want Trump as the GOP nominee, placing him 14 percentage points above DeSantis at 27%. Then you start naming these other hypotheticals, and it's just so much, your Ted Cruz and your Nikki Haley is not hypothetical. She is in the race, but she only has 3% support. Mike Pence and Rand Paul and Tim Scott and Ted Cruz are tied at 1%. So again, there's a reason why it's, people are talking DeSantis versus Trump. Other people, they're nowhere near there, but DeSantis is really nowhere near Trump in this polling, okay? And so let's look at another poll. Here's a poll, and here's the headline. Trump sees another boost amid rumors of looming arrest. DeSantis drops. Okay, so you would think, they're talking about arresting this guy and the whole, issue of the Stormy Daniels stuff and all this. And yet, what do we see? Trump sees another boost amid these rumors. And many are saying these rumors are unfair. Trump has denied this, and he certainly shouldn't be. I mean, you're talking about a former president. This at worst is, as they say, would be a misdemeanor, but it's reached the statute of limitations. It's a political persecution and witch hunt and all this other stuff. And we know that. I've written about that. But this poll, former President Donald Trump experienced yet another boost amid rumors of a looming arrest. And this is the latest Morning Consult survey. Okay, so this is deep, right? I mean, it says this week, which was last week's Morning Consult survey, demonstrates gains for the former president. He now has 54% support, up from 52% recorded the week before. Okay, and his closest potential competitor, obviously DeSantis, lost 2 points. He went from 28% to 26%. So Trump's lead jumped from 0.24 to 0.28. Okay, this is like, so Trump is up. He's up from January, from February. He is soaring in the polling. All right, I said, hang on, I'm going to explain why I'm bringing all this up. Here's another Breitbart headline poll: Donald Trump gained support in last month. Ron DeSantis drops. Okay, so here is another one. It said this was a survey, McLaughlin and Associates, taken March 16th through 20th, and it asked Republican primary voters who they would support for president out of a wide range of potential candidates. Okay, and so there were Trump and DeSantis and Pence and Nikki Haley and Mitt Romney and Liz Cheney and some of these other folk. I don't know why they're naming, but anyway, what did we find? Trump leads the pack with 46% support, followed by who? Ron DeSantis, 23% support. That was an increase from 42% support he saw last month, a 4-point jump. And DeSantis' 23% support is an 8% drop from the 31% support he saw in January, and 3% drop from the 26% he saw in February. It's just off the charts. Okay, I'm going to keep going here. I have a few more for you. All right, so here's another one. This headline is poll: Donald Trump holds definitive lead over Joe Biden in likely 2024 matchup. So this is talking about Trump versus Biden, which is good. This was a McLaughlin poll, but then the article goes on to talk about his lead over DeSantis. It says a Monmouth University poll released last Tuesday, it would be revealed that 41% of GOP voters want Trump to win the Republican nomination, putting him 14 points above DeSantis's 27%. Okay. Additional recent polling has also shown Trump trouncing DeSantis in a hypothetical matchup. So again, this is coming from recent polling within the last week, and I'm reading some bits and pieces from Breitbart News' reporting of this polling. Here's another one. This one says, poll: Trump remains most favorable Republican in potential 2024 field. And this was a Morning Consult survey last Tuesday. Trump, he did not lose any favorability. It said this week, I'm reading, maintaining his status as 77% have a favorable view of him compared to 20% who do not. And that 20% is down from 21% who viewed him unfavorably in last week's results. Whereas Ron DeSantis, he came in second place with 67% viewing him favorably, which was one less than the 68 who said the same the previous week. Okay, so I could go on. I'm going to look at one more, and then I'm going to just bring this whole thing together. Here's another headline: Arizona poll: Trump more than doubles DeSantis' support in hypothetical head-to-head. Now listen, this isn't Breitbart News making this up. This isn't Adrienne Ross making this up. This is what polling is showing. This is what people are saying. And it's not like 1 or 2 points here. Okay, there's a trouncing going on in these polls. Okay, so former President Donald Trump leads Governor Ron DeSantis by nearly 30 points in a hypothetical head-to-head primary matchup in Arizona, according to a Rasmussen Reports poll. And this one came out the Friday before, which would have been the 17th of March. And it shows that Trump has the support of 52% of likely Republican voter respondents in the Grand Canyon state, which places him 28 percentage points above DeSantis's 24%. Says another 16% of respondents say they would vote for someone else, and another 7% said they were undecided. So Trump, in this 2024 Arizona Republican primary poll, Trump has 52%, DeSantis 24%. So why am I saying all this other than the fact that it's absolutely fascinating? You know, all the talk about, you know, anti-Trump this and anti-Trump that, and the whole Russia gate nonsense, and the January 6th nonsense. And when I say nonsense, I mean trying to pin that on him. Ridiculous. It's such a, it has been political persecution. And then now with the indictment, the arrest, the looming and all that, people know what's up. You know, even the people who were even the people who are anti-Trump people, even some people who are anti-Trump people, when they started talking about arresting Trump, people said, this isn't cool. This is not cool at all, that you would use your office to go against not only a former president, but your political, you know, the guy you hate on the other side of the political aisle. You know, Joe Biden's political opponent. This is just outrageous. And that's one reason why some people were really upset that DeSantis didn't come out stronger. You know, even the other presidential announced candidate, and I don't, forgive me if I'm pronouncing his name wrong, Vivek Ramaswamy, I guess, he came out really, really strongly against what was going on, because some things are larger, as he pointed out, than the fact that this is my political opponent. And so, you know, some people were disappointed in the way Ron DeSantis handled or did not handle it. And, you know, he did speak out. I mean, you can decide for yourself how you think he should have handled it. He was clear that he wasn't in agreement with it, but him saying we're not going to get involved in any way when he could get involved as the governor of Florida, and Trump being a resident, you know, that didn't go over well. But anyway, be that as it may, here's my point. My point is that Trump is still trouncing his closest hypothetical opponent, Ron DeSantis, in light of all that. You know, in light of, I mean, in spite of those, that what's hanging over Trump's head, he's still leading by a whole lot, you know, because, you know, well, he was a great president. So I hope that would be a reason, but also people don't take too kindly to political persecution. And I pray, I mean, some people do, because we do have the far left people who want nothing more than to see Trump sitting behind bars, you know. But in light of everything that he has been through and everything that people have hurled at him, he continues to dominate in spite of his personality, which some people don't like, you know. He's still trouncing Ron DeSantis. So what's my point? This battle that seems to be going on between the two. And I say that it's hard to say battle because, again, Ron DeSantis really wasn't he wasn't really trying to go there. But now it seems like he's willing to step in at least a little bit. You know, like I said, Trump is the one who's been doing, you know, the heavy punching. And actually heavy is I don't know if it's heavy, because, you know, we ain't seen nothing yet, really. If we consider this really, really heavy, then we're probably going to really be blown away. But the heavier punching, I should say, and unnecessarily so, it seems. And why is it unnecessary? Well, one reason it's unnecessary is what I want to talk about now, what I already mentioned, this polling. Donald Trump does not need to go after Ron DeSantis to lead. I don't believe Trump's numbers are as high as they are, and Ron DeSantis is trailing by so much because of Trump's attacks against Ron DeSantis. No, Trump would be trouncing Ron DeSantis if he never said a negative word about Ron DeSantis. You know, he doesn't need to. And so especially at this point. And here's the thing, I've said it before, so if I'm going to be an honest person, I have to say it again. In the way they treat Trump, I say this: people always show you whom they fear by these attacks. So I have to say too that obviously Trump, I don't know if fear is the right word, but obviously there's some concern about Ron DeSantis. You don't go after people you are not, concerned about, unless this is some political strategy where you go after him enough that, he does not get in the race. He decides not to get in the race. I don't know. But generally speaking, when you see how people respond to other people, you kind of see what's on their mind, and right now, polling lets us know Trump doesn't need to be overly concerned about Ron DeSantis to the point that he is going after him this early in what's not even the race yet between the two, And so I feel like you can, what is the expression? Keep your powder dry or something. I feel like he can hold back a little bit because he's in good shape. I feel like he can hold back because the ultimate goal, as Ron DeSantis pointed out in his interview with Piers Morgan, that if he runs, he's running against Joe Biden. Biden has to be the number one focus. We cannot afford to have another Biden term, right? So ultimately, that's the goal, because Trump is going to be better than Biden. DeSantis is going to be better than Biden. Nikki Haley is going to be better than Biden, right? So Biden is the one we have to be focusing on. And so I just don't think it's necessary to tear each other down at this point, because, whoever emerges, as the nominee, we want that person to be, we don't want them to be shredded, right? There's got to be something left so that they can then take on Joe Biden or whomever happens to be the nominee, because whoever, whether, even if it's not Biden, if he doesn't decide to run, God help us if it's Kamala Harris, Vice President Harris, and anybody there on the far left there, we can't, right? We need conservatives in office. And so you can argue and say, well, Ron DeSantis is not really. All I know is that he's done a good job as the governor. And I feel like I can say, Trump would make a wonderful president again and still not have to tear down Ron DeSantis. And I don't think Donald Trump needs to do that, because he's kicking serious tail already. So he can hold back on that a little bit. And then, when he needs to come out more forcefully, then he can. Now, you might disagree with me and say you throw it all out there right now. And, like I said, I'm all about battling. I know this is politics. I know this isn't about, ballet. Okay. And I'm all about battling in a primary, which we are, DeSantis is not in this race yet. But I believe in going after people based on their records and stuff like that. And, the DeSanctimonious and meatball stuff, whatever, that's not a huge deal there, really. But I just don't, it just pains me to see them beating each other up. I think Trump, if he were to, not that he needs to take any advice from me, but I would just say, hold off a little bit, keep riding those polls, keep calling out the mainstream media, keep being Trump, what was that? Keep being Trump, calling out China, being fearless. People, we need that. We need the fighter, and we need somebody who knows what it is to run stuff, the businessman stuff that we need, in addition to caring about our military and caring about energy independence and having, common sense. So I think that he can chill with the attacks, and he would still be okay. And so, and like I said, you can agree, you can disagree. I'd love to hear from you. If you're watching or listening at adrienneross.substack.com, you can put your comments there. But listen, come at me with, understanding. Like I said, I'm not propping up DeSantis. I'm not putting down Trump or vice versa, really. So if you're gonna come at me with reason. Don't come at me just because, this is my guy, and this is, or that's my guy, or this, let's we don't worship people. So we can respect people and honor people, but let's come with some reasonable conversation and have some talk about it. Please, let's go that route, right? So if you're watching on YouTube, you can leave a comment there. You can email me at adriennerosscom@gmail.com, adriennerosscom@gmail.com. We can have a conversation about this, but you know what? It's gonna be a wild ride. It's gonna be interesting to see how this unfolds. And I will tell you this: ultimately, we need change in this nation. We cannot continue down the road that this current administration has us on, and those who are waiting in the wings to take over, perhaps, because even the Democrats don't want Joe Biden as the nominee. The polling shows that as well. And that might be a conversation for another day, but we can't continue down this road. So we need a move of God. And I'm thankful that God does, he hears our prayers, and he loves this nation, and he's not through with us yet. And so I'm believing that we're going to have the best of the best. And I hope you can believe with me. All right. So there's my thought. In my column, I say it's my view, my voice. This isn't the column, but it's still my view, my voice. This is the Adrienne Ross Show. All right. So share with someone. Let's hear from you. Also on a podcast platform, like maybe Apple Podcasts, leave a rating, leave a review. So much appreciated. All right. And make sure that you go to thebmgnetwork.com, thebmgnetwork.com, and check out the other podcasts there. We are engaging and enlightening and informative and even entertaining. So check that out. Please subscribe. I need your support at adrienneross.substack.com. I need your support. Please consider becoming a paid subscriber. It's so inexpensive, but check it out. You'll get all the details over there. All right. I want you to be a part of what is going on. I work hard to bring you good content, and your support is so very, very much appreciated. That's it for now. All right. There you have it. The Adrienne Ross Show. God bless you abundantly. Catch you next time.